Hello and welcome to Stupid Ancient History with Midgley.
And Taylor and our expert, non-expert and special guest James, Lord High Commander of the Science Cupboard, first of his name and knower of nothing.
Hello.
As always, we're wearing togas, we're eating olives, and today we're going to look at the Battle of Lake Regilius. Previously on Stupid Ancient History, we've been looking at the varying fates of the fledgling Roman Republic.
After kicking out their king, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus.
And how almost as soon as it had come into existence, the Republic was almost immediately set upon by its various enemies.
And how behind each of these attempts to crush the new Republic was none other than Superbus himself.
And so began the Wars of Independence,
Or the Tark Wars.
Did we not get, in Lucasfilm not get in touch to shout at us for this?
quite easy. So, a long time ago, in a country not so far away, after failing to come to power through trickery and deceit, Superbus rallied his former allies, the VA and the Tarquini, to take Rome by force.
But this new hope was quickly crushed by the Romans.
And not being too put off, Superbus sought the assistance of Lars Porsena of Clusium to help him take Rome, this time actually getting into Roman territory.
But sadly for Superbus, his empire could not strike back. Very nice, Mr. Midgley. As various Romans showed, he would not crush their spirits.
Yeah, because they were insane. They set their hands on fire.
Exactly, yes.
And then swam away.
Swam away.
Well, that'll do it.
So you said this was the Battle of Lake
Regilius.
Regilius. I will not remember that. We finally get some boats. We had no boats.
Well, you're half right.
Oh.
It is another battle.
Yeah.
But there's no boats.
That's not the... Well, I mean, the battle was a given. It's the boats I really wanted.
No, sorry.
That's
no
rubbish.
boats. So, anyway, now that we've let you down thoroughly,
I mean, I don't know if I'll recover from this.
we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
So, following on from this failed invasion by Lars Porsena, Livy tells us that life sort of goes back to normal in Rome, and two consuls are duly elected once it's all blown over.
Same ones?
No.
Okay, new ones.
Yeah.
But he says nothing interesting happened that year, so he sort of skips over them.
You just that's how uninteresting they are.
Yes,
They're
they're
not
so
even worth
boring.
mentioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, arguably. But so he's more interested in what was happening outside of Rome at this time, which was a bit more interesting than these two blokes.
Yeah.
Particularly what's happening involving tensions with the Latin League.
You're going to have to explain that to me.
So the Latin League was an alliance of various Latin states that surrounded Rome, initially set up to protect against the Etruscans to the north, but who now saw Rome as a growing threat.
Right, so they've not already got enough people beefing with them. They've now got more people
In a
beefing with
league.
them.
Got a league of people.
Got a league.
Just what they need. So these tensions with the Latin League are building up, and there's been various little skirmishes, particularly involving former Roman allied settlements all this time.
Until 493 BC, when war finally breaks out.
And obviously this being a time of war, the Senate appointed a dictator, a guy called Aulus Postumius.
And also a master of the horse known as Titus Aebutius.
Do we know who, were they either in the consoles or are they outside?
They just magically appear as dictator and
They
master of
just
horse.
pop up from nowhere.
Yeah,
Of course
Livy
they do.
doesn't tell us much.
Right, okay.
I don't know if you've noticed, he's a bit skimpy with some of the details.
Unless it's ludicrous. The facts, yeah. He skips
no.
over them.
No, look
They're
at that guy
boring.
over there. So anyway, the dictator, master of horse, get the army together, and both the Romans and the Latin League march their quite considerable armies to Tusculum, which is this area around Lake Regilius.
Okay, so where is that actually in Italy?
It's all around Rome.
Okay, they're not travelling far.
No, they've got to walk there,
Fair
apart
enough.
from the guys on the horse. So they get to Tusculum by Lake Regilius, ready for this battle.
But surprise!
Go on.
When the Romans get there, who do they see helping lead the Latin League army?
This guy.
Superbus!
He's there.
Has he not given up yet?
Well, no, he's still there. And even better, according to the sources, by this time he's 90.
Oh, you've got to pack it in at a point.
No,
Give him
he's-
Prince Philip a run for his
90-year-old.
money, innit?
So, has he got any children left at this point?
yeah,
Yes.
One.
One.
for now.
Right. Okay.
He's what? And he's like
kind of spoiler.
Sorry.
60s,
I
70s.
was going to say, because if you're 90, your kids are likely to be. So, it's not much. If he regains his city, like
It's not going to be for long.
It's not going to be for long, you know.
But also the fact that there's a 90-year-old man strutting around a battlefield in armour.
I mean, you say strutting. I think
Shuffling.
he's being carried. I don't think he's strutting anywhere.
No,
to be honest.
apparently he fights like a much younger man.
What, an
What?
80?
I was going to say 70-year-old.
Oh.
Steady on now. So anyway, so there he is, 90-year-old Tarquin. He's still not dead.
Wow.
So when the Romans see him on the field, that's it. They're
Point
having
and
none
laugh.
of it. No, they're just like, he's still not dead. They have not. They go dive straight into the fight, or as Livy describes it.
On hearing that the Tarquins were in the army of the Latins, the anger of the Romans was so aroused that they chose to engage at once. The battle that followed was more fiercely and desperately fought than any previous ones had been, for the commanders not only took their part in directing the action, they fought personally against each other, and hardly one of the leaders in either army, with the exception of the Roman dictator, left the field unwounded.
Said it was a mass. They just went.
Savage.
They saw Superbus was there, and they just all piled
They
in.
saw a pensioner and oi.
So how long after being kicked out of Rome is this? How long's he been up to his old tricks?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. How old was he when they changed the locks on him?
Again, we're not sure.
Okay, so he wasn't a young man then.
No, and now he's clearly not a young man.
So we've got this epic fight with an
Yep.
OAP
Yeah.
in the middle of it.
Absolutely.
I've got high hopes. Tell me.
Well, it's actually Superbus who starts this all off. He starts these one-on-one grudge matches.
Right, okay.
And he decides he's going to start the battle by charging headlong on horseback.
But he's not going to run, is he?
He could do. On mobility scooter, straight towards the dictator Postumius.
So it's basically basher biddy time then, is it?
Be bashed by.
Can't be that threatening a sight.
Well, he's old, but he's feisty, apparently.
Clearly is. So, but it
Or
does...
stupid, I mean, I don't know.
Going a bit senile. So anyway, 90-year-old Tarquin on his horse, charging out the Romans. Sadly, it doesn't go too well for him.
I'm shocked.
As it doesn't. No, it's not that he falls off or his teeth fall out halfway
Yeah.
across the battlefield.
He wheezes.
I'm not sure where to go after that. So anyway, all that aside, he
Yeah.
charges at Postumius, but Postumius strikes him in the side, and Tarquinius has to be carried away to safety.
He's 90 years old. If you're worried about his safety, you shouldn't be there in the first place.
Well, true, but meanwhile, elsewhere on the battlefield, the master of horse, Abutius, was being attacked by the Tusculan. They're the kind of main force of the Latin League.
Okay.
The Tusculan leader, a guy called Octavius Mamilius.
That is a good name.
It
I'm
is.
assuming that means he wins.
Well, we'll see. Livy?
So, similarly, on the wing, Abutius, master of the horse, directed his attack against Octavius Mamilius, the Tusculan leader, saw him coming and rode at him full speed. So terrific was the shock that Abutius' arm was pierced. Mamilius was speared in the breast and led off by the Latins into their second line. Abutius, unable to hold a weapon with his wounded arm, retired from the fighting.
So they're both taking each
They're
other.
all getting it, aren't
Well,
they?
not really, because, all right, Abutius is out, can't
Yeah.
hold an arm, he's got a floppy arm, but Mamilius is having none of it.
Really?
He's just like, it's just a flesh wound.
So does he get back in the fray?
Well,
So, yeah, Mamilius, seeing that his own men are kind of wavering, he rallies a force of Roman exiles led by Lucius Tarquinius, the son,
yeah.
and the battle continues.
So he's got another Lucius Tarquinius.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Is this younger or older than Sextus?
older. Sextus was the youngest.
Is this
son.
the one that went to Greece?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Just annoyingly has the same name as
Yeah,
his
yeah.
90-year-old, now heavily wounded dad.
So you mentioned Lucius Tarquinius Jr.
Yeah.
Is that how we refer to him, or is he just Lucius Tarquinius?
Lucius Tarquinius.
Okay, so we have Lucius Tarquinius knocking about. We have Lucius Tarquinius Superbus knocking about.
Yeah.
Any others members of the family going to come like out of the woodwork? Yeah. Hello.
Well, there is about to be one less.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
So while all this is going on, a man called Valerius,
Mm-hmm.
who is brother of Valerius Publicola, remember him?
I do remember that name.
So obviously they've got to have the same name.
Obviously they do.
Such lazy
Oh, yeah.
parenting that.
Yeah, Valerius, son of Valerius.
Yes.
No,
Brother of Valerius.
Why do they do this?
Just to make things worse for us.
God.
Anyway, so he sees this young Tarquinius rallying the forces of exiles, these Roman traitors, and he just goes and attacks him.
Okay.
He's having none of that. He's like, another Tarquin? No. And Livy says,
Valerius, the brother of Publicola, catching sight of the fiery young Tarquin at the front line, dug spurs into his horse and made for him with levelled lance, eager to enhance the pride of his house, that the family who boasted of having expelled the Tarquins might have the glory of killing them. Fair enough.
Alright, so he's just like, I'm having a go at him.
yeah, my brother's done the other one. I'm going to start on
Livy
this
also
one.
said young Tarquin. Is that relative? Presumably?
It's relative.
Because this guy is minimum 50, isn't he?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Young is kind of, yeah, in comparison.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens to Valerius then.
So go on. What?
So it says Valerius, riding headlong into the ranks of the exiles, was run through by a spear from behind. Painful.
Right,
This
okay.
did not slow the horse's speed, and the Roman sank dying to the ground, his arms falling upon him.
Oh.
Oh, so his horse didn't even wait around, just
No,
pegged
just
it.
left him skewered to the ground.
I'm imagining, like in cartoons when the horse goes, but the person's still like there in midair, and
But
then
with a spear through
yeah,
him.
that's kind of what I'm imagining.
How does Valerius react to the death of Valerius?
We're not sure.
Right,
He's
okay.
like, no, I'm still alive. Oh, that one.
Oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't name all the family the same thing.
Yeah, it gets a bit confusing. So anyway, with Valerius down, his men now, who are meant to be fighting, they start to falter and panic, and the enemy are actually now able to advance and push them back. So it's not looking good for the Romans. And the death of Valerius doesn't go unnoticed elsewhere on the battlefield. Don't know if you've noticed, there's a lot of chopping and changing. Some guys see something, some other guys see something. So this time it's the dictator Postumius who sees the whole battle about to crumble before him.
Thought he was taken away.
No, he was fine. It was Superbus who was taken away.
Okay.
So he sees the whole thing, the whole Roman side about to crumble before him, and he panics. So to stop this,
He ordered his own cohort, a picked force, who formed his bodyguard, to treat any of their own side whom they saw run away as the enemy. So
Right,
basically,
okay.
kill the cowards.
yeah. So the Roman army now have got the choice of death by Tusculan
Or death by Roman.
yeah.
Like, yeah. You're dying one way or the other. You may as well not be a coward about
Yeah,
it.
that's it. Yeah. So thankfully, to the Romans, due to this, shall we call it refocusing of their priorities?
That's a very polite way to put it.
This refocusing of their priorities, they start pushing back the Latins and the Roman exiles, and it seems to do the job,
Yeah.
which is good.
But on the other side of the battlefield, the Latin leader Mamilius is keen to turn the tide, and gathering some reserve troops, piles into the attack to push the Romans back.
Okay.
So it's back and forth, back
Yeah,
and forth.
this is feeling like a bit of a tug of war, so.
Yeah, but handily enough, back on the Roman side,
Okay.
a young officer called Herminius sees what the Latins are doing and decides he's going to do something about it.
Kill more of his own people.
No.
Okay.
So-
They've come for a different tack this time.
So Livy says, Herminius saw them coming and recognised Mamilius by his dress and arms. His arms?
It's not his physically, his weapons.
Oh, right, I was going to say.
You're meant to know about this stuff.
What did he have on? He attacked the enemy's commander much more fiercely than the master of the horse had previously done. So much so, in fact, that he killed him by a single spear thrust through his side.
Okay.
That's all good.
It is. Although I'm enjoying the Herminius and the Hermilius. What? Mamilius and...
Herminicus or Herminius and Mamilius.
I'm glad these names aren't confusing at all.
Yeah, Herminius kills Mamilius.
You just don't have to write him
Yay!
in an exam.
True.
But
They do.
so he's killed him. Herminius, you're going to make me say it again, aren't you?
I am.
Herminius has killed Mamilius. Yay!
Yay.
But
I assume we're taking the Roman side on this.
yeah,
Whilst plundering the body, he himself was struck by a javelin and after being carried back to the camp, died whilst his wound was being dressed.
I mean, he was...
Should have been nicking off a dead man then, should he?
he was taking stuff out of a corpse. Fair play.
to be fair, no, this is what they did though, wasn't it? This was the way you showed on you took the armour from your enemy as a trophy. Maybe wait till after the battle might be a
Gonna
better
say.
idea.
Yeah.
Bit of a tea leaf.
Seems like there may be more pressing issues.
Like that spear pressing into him. So Herminius kills Mamilius, but then Herminius is killed by a javelin.
No.
Random man.
Javelinicus.
So I'm trying to keep track of this. We've got... I'm never going to remember these names. Herminius, Mamilius.
Has killed Mamilius.
Yeah. And then...
Tarquinius tried killing Postimius.
yeah.
But
there's
didn't
there's
work.
also a
Abutius.
There's an Abutius, a Valerius. There's a lot of names here.
Yeah.
A lot of people have died.
Yeah.
Who is actually left on the battlefield?
Not that many.
Yeah, they've started killing their own as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this part, the biggest problem the Romans face in this whole battle is starting to emerge.
So the dictator Postimius, who's basically like the last man standing, sees that his infantry are about to break their lines and collapse as a result of the continual assaults of the Latins.
I mean, they are being pretty relentless.
Yeah, they are.
So Postimius orders his own cavalry, who, don't forget, they're mostly the equites, the patricians, the people who can afford horses. He orders them to dismount and fight on foot to relieve this faltering and exhausted infantry, who are mostly plebeians.
Yeah.
Which they do.
Okay.
And Livy then tells us...
The infantry recovered their courage at once when they saw the flower of the nobility fighting on equal terms and sharing the same dangers with themselves.
The
Can you-
flower
how
of the
nice.
Can you
nobility.
just pull that face again for our listeners?
Unfortunately, I don't think they can hear it through.
Let's try it. Let's try it. Pull that face.
The flower of the nobility.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they're not actually holding flowers.
I didn't think
But it
they
is a
were.
bit
but
saccharine.
that is quite a disgusting way to refer to them.
Yeah. But either way, poetic nonsense aside, the fact that the cavalry do get off the horses and do fight with the infantry, this is kind of the turning point in the battle that sort of saves the day. Despite everyone else getting speared and...
So, how many cavalry were there that were able to get off their horses and reinforce them that much?
To quote Livy, a number.
A number.
A number of cavalry.
Don't know why I bothered asking. It's so specific.
You think? I thought you'd have picked up on that by now. So, with this renewed strength
The flower.
and the support of the flowery dismounted cavalry,
God, the flower of the nobility.
I mean, but with this renewed strength of the dismounted cavalry, the Latins start to retreat. They can't fight. The flowers.
Nope. At which point the Roman cavalry get back on their horses and give chase.
So they've won.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
So yeah, and Postimius and the wounded Abutius returned to Rome with their weary and worn troops in triumph.
Is that triumph just like they've got victory? Because they do have triumphs as like a big parade and party.
Yeah,
don't they?
at this point they don't have big parades. Well, the whole army coming back into
Yeah.
town alive is a bit of a triumph, but yeah, it's more a look, we're still alive, and the flower of Roman nobility is still with us.
No, they've surely pegged it after them.
They've given up after.
Oh,
a while.
okay.
So anyway, they come back and realising just how close to defeat they came, Postimius declares that a temple to Castor is going to be built.
Which one's Castor?
So he's the Roman god of horsemanship.
Is that one of the Castor and Pollux?
Castor and
twins?
Pollux, yeah.
So it's
I
kind
know
of
stars. I do that. I can do that bit.
All right, science man.
it's kind of in honour of the cavalry who saved the day.
Even though they got off the horses, did the important bit.
They did what they did. They saved the day.
Okay, so so Superbus is once again thwarted.
Thwarted.
Please
not
tell me.
dead.
Please tell me this is over.
Well, in terms of actual battles,
Okay.
yes.
But there's still some loose ends to tie up, so not completely.
Why would there not be?
So, after the Battle of Lake Regilius, over the next 3 years, there's a sort of on-off sort of thing going on with peace and war.
Between just the Latin
Between
League, or just everyone around.
Pretty
Rome?
much. No one's quite ready to pack it in. There's still a bit of scrapping going on.
And that pesky 200-year war that's still going on.
Yeah. So again, Livy isn't 100% sure what's going on. I mean, why should he be? He's only writing a history of it.
Yeah, he's only
fine.
a historian.
He complains about his sources not giving proper dates or details. So he just kind of skips over the next few consuls and just like goes, well, don't know, so we'll leave him.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
I've forgotten about them. So did he mention what the consuls did during this war? Or are they just...
They're just not doing anything.
Okay, because he's really thorough. He's missed out a few things like who was running Rome during this time.
That guy over there, something is.
Right, okay. So we just know there's 3 years of kind of scraps.
There's consuls, but we don't
know who they are.
what order they come in or what they do. So
Right, okay. Do they settle into more of a not electing themselves, like
They do.
again sort of system?
they do. So the next big event that Livy skips to is roughly in 490 BC, with the election of a guy called Appius Claudius and another guy called Servilius. Now these two become quite important later on.
Did both consuls' terms come at the same time, or did like an alternate one?
Same time.
Always. So you're not okay. I would have thought they'd have a more experienced one installed, and then. Like,
You think this is a system of government works on sense. So yeah, Appius Claudius and Servilius, they're elected in round out 490 BC.
Okay.
And James, something else quite important happens as well.
Okay.
It's the year when Superbus finally pops it.
Yay!
And
How old was he? Like 1 million.
They said they ran out of numbers to count, so
Yeah.
they thought, just die. So obviously, when the Romans hear that he's finally died, it's obviously party time in Rome.
Cool.
Yeah,
So-
and they're having a great time. But then we get a hint that things are starting to change.
Okay.
So Livy says, the news was received with delight by both Senate and plebs, but the celebration of the patricians was carried to excess. Up to that time they had treated the commons with the utmost respect. Now their leaders began to practice injustice upon them.
Oh,
Boom.
this isn't sounding good. So they should be pretty happy at this
Yeah.
point. They've beaten off the Latin League. Still a stupid name. Superbus is dead.
Yay.
They should all be pretty cheery. Happy Romans.
Job done.
Yeah.
Sort of, but not quite.
What? So what? What's going on? There's always a just quite. You always ruin my parade.
Yeah.
You go on. You told me this was over. I'm tired.
We did say it was the
lied.
Battle of Lake Regilius.
Yeah. They just had that.
Yeah.
Did they fight there again?
No.
Okay.
But
good.
there is a bit more. We didn't tell you about the bit more.
Right. Okay.
Sorry. So, whilst everyone's having a good time in Rome, trouble is again brewing with the Latin League.
But the trouble was that the Senate were being jerks.
Well, there's trouble outside of
There's
Rome
more
as well.
trouble with the Latin League. Okay. What are they up to this time?
Well, this time it's the Volscians who are planning to raid Roman lands. They've got a patchy history with Rome. They fought Rome way back when.
Right. Okay.
So the Volscians are planning to raid Roman lands.
Yeah, but before this gets off the ground, the Romans find out and quickly march their legions into Volscian territory.
Okay.
And the Volsci are so shocked at how quick this happens that they immediately promise to pack it in.
That's it. Like, sorry, we'll stop it now.
Well, if you're planning stuff and then all of a sudden the entire Roman army turns up outside your house, you're like, oh, okay, I promise not to do that again. Sorry.
Okay.
And they offer up 300 children as hostages.
It's a bit rough, isn't it? Whose kids are these?
These are the wealthiest people's kids as
Yeah.
well.
Right, okay.
As a promise not to get up to any. What do you think it might be, James?
Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Evil schemes!
So,
And the Romans go home.
Romans go home. That bit I can get on board with.
With their 300 children hostages.
Not their 300 children. Oh, there, yeah.
Yeah.
300 children.
But no sooner had the Romans left than the Volscians start plotting again.
Those pesky Volscians.
They really don't like their kids, do they?
Yeah, but this time they sent
Envoys?
envoys even, to the rest of the Latin League to get them involved in their... Can't do it, sorry.
I knew it was coming. I'm already pulling a face. I presume that's why you got
That's why I'm
off.
laughing, yes. Yeah, sorry.
Evil schemes?
Evil schemes!
So this is a bad idea, though. As bad as saying evil scheme. So the Latin League are having none of this by this point. After the defeat at Lake Regilius, the Latin League are incredibly angry at anyone who comes around and even suggests going to war with Rome again.
Right, okay.
They've learned the lesson.
They nearly won.
Yeah, but they didn't. So
Okay.
they're still meh. So the envoys turn up and the Latins immediately arrest them and send them back into Rome.
So they didn't just send them home, they send them to Rome.
Send them to Rome.
Cool. What happens to them then?
Deaded.
Deaded?
Yeah,
Yeah.
deaded.
How deaded? Like just stabby stab dead? Or like horrifically unnecessary dead?
Well, all death is a bit unnecessary.
No, but nothing weird. Yeah.
Weird.
Like
Some
some weird...
Satsuma in.
No, some weird... They always kill people in weird ways, the Romans.
Well, funnily enough, Livy does not elaborate.
They invented crucifixion. That's pretty weird.
Yeah. And there was the whole metis for fetis thing, but no, nothing worth writing about.
Okay,
So
well,
Livy just
obviously not. Neither are dates and numbers and...
Facts,
Yeah.
details. So anyway, the Romans are quite happy with this kind of sign of friendship, turning over the envoys.
Okay.
So the two sides decide they're going to have a massive kind of prisoner swap or slave swap.
Did he get the kids back then?
No, they're the Volscian kids. They're still there.
Oh.
It's the Latin.
So
from the
when were these prisoners, slaves taken? During the...
Lake Regilius
Right,
and previous
okay.
conflicts. It's like, do you remember we captured Brian? Do you want him
Yeah.
back?
Not Brian, he's,
He's
Yeah,
an idiot.
leave
you
Brian.
can keep him.
So anyway, so they have this nice prisoner exchange, this swap, and it now seems, with this final thing, that the future of the new republic is secure and
Good.
safe from invasion.
Good.
About time,
It is
really.
pretty much, yeah.
And there's this new era of cooperation between Rome and the Latin League, or as Livy puts it,
At no previous period had the Latin nation been on more friendly terms, both politically and personally, with the Roman government.
That's
Aw.
nice.
Happy
So-
families, people!
Presumably they're cross with Rome because they're a republic as well.
they got used to that.
They've gotten over that bit.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
just like, nah, it's fair enough. It's the Volscians that are still the problem.
But they've got... Oh, they didn't care about that.
They didn't care about
did
that.
They really didn't.
This is why they're a problem. So, Battle of Lake Regilius done. Obviously, we need to point out this is the third major attack on Rome since it's become a republic. I mean, if we're looking at things like continuity and change, there's a lot of continuity.
Yeah.
Rome exists, someone comes and fights them.
Is this just trying to prove that the Republic is never going to work? So it's kind of like a foregone conclusion that later on you're going to get, back to a more autocratic...
I think it's more that the
individualistic
Romans,
style of
from
rule.
an early stage, were a force to be reckoned with, and no matter how much you hated them and how many other people you got to fight them,
You could
you
never
weren't
win.
you weren't going to win. And again, it's the same thing. You get this idea of heroes and individuals. They're not setting themselves on fire this time, but the fact that all these named people are spearing each other and skewering each
Yeah.
other. So again, that's another bit of continuity. They're keeping this idea of heroes going, even though they're not as mythical as the likes of Romulus or those triplets. You've got the heroes in battle, and the Romans just will not be defeated no matter what Superbus throws at them.
Another key issue, which I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've come across this really before, is this kind of working together and this cooperation between the plebs and the patricians, where
Yeah.
they're willing to kind of fight on equal terms.
The plebs and the what? the flower of nobility.
Sorry,
I think
sorry,
that was-
James. Sorry, James. But yeah, so the fact that they would get off their
Made
horses,
myself a little bit sick saying
Like-
that again.
Oh.
you know, fight hand, you know, like alongside
Next
each
to each
other,
other.
next
It's
to
something
each
that-
other.
It just
They
kind
bothered
of
getting off their horses and doing something.
standing in the dirt. Oh.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's something that we don't really see at all, because even with the existence of plebeians and patricians, they kind of get mentioned early on when Romulus does stuff, and then people just forget about them.
Yeah.
And it's only when we get to the end of Superbus and now the Republic that we go, oh look, plebs and patricians, and they're always quite separate, apart from that one little moment where the flower of Roman nobility
Ugh.
almost come to their aid.
And
But straight away, though, it's setting it up for a fail, because as soon as when they're celebrating,
They were.
they start getting out of hand.
Yeah, and I was going to say,
I know the answer is no. Is there any elaboration on that? What they were up to?
No.
Okay.
is it just kind of a bit of a nod? You know, could it be something that he's just put in there to maybe make the patricians sound a bit nicer?
Worse. Oh, nice.
Well, being mean at the plebs during
No,
Yeah.
I mean like before where they're kind of fighting alongside them and, you know, fighting
Yeah,
on equal terms.
it's breaking away from the idea that the patricians will be nothing but spoiled
Yeah.
brats. So the kind of people who we saw Superbus working with, who couldn't bear to live under the law.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's making the point that actually the patricians can be nice, they can be all right.
Just not for long.
Just there's always that one person at the party who gets carried away and starts picking on the plebs, and that's where it's heading.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously as well, the other thing we should point out from this whole escapade.
Superbus!
Oh, he's
Dead.
gone. Finally.
So again, that's going to be a
At
massive
the
change.
Tragically young age of 100.
Just taken away from us too soon. Should pour one out for
Does he like
Superbus.
die from his wounds then? Is that
Yeah,
what?
he dies from his wounds, and also the fact that he's 9 million years old.
Well,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's going to be a massive change, because without him constantly trying to hassle the Romans, there's going to be something new that has to happen.
So yeah, other Lucius Tarquinius died. Sextus is gone.
Yeah.
What happened to other son?
Died in a previous battle, Aaron's, and
Yeah,
Brutus did him in.
Yes. And then I'm guessing if Sextus was a third son, he had 3 daughters.
Yeah.
Possibly. They don't have heirs who are going to come and try and have a go.
No.
And the wife is dead. She was chased around Rome
Oh yeah.
because she was crazy.
I mean, yeah, she smeared her dad across the city.
A lot of people didn't want to let him in the city once that had happened. They didn't really trust her.
Was she locked out with Superboss?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they didn't just lock him out and go, don't worry about her.
No, you'd lock her out first.
Actually, yeah, she is.
She's off her
nutter.
head. So yeah, again, significance of the death of Superbus is massive. Rome can now flourish as this new republic without being hassled from outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, it
Something
starts
else.
hassling itself from
Well,
inside.
yeah. So kind of the other ones they've seen off. The Etruscans, are they just given up?
Yeah, they've
They've given up.
had
The
enough.
Latinles given up. The whoever they are, the ones who gave up 30 kids.
Pretty much everyone.
They don't seem to care about the children at all.
No,
But yeah, everyone's leaving them alone.
I think
now.
everyone's just about had enough by now.
Right. Okay.
It's been a long haul. They've had enough. They're just going to let the Romans do what the Romans do.
It's the
Okay.
end of their lockdown.
Don't.
So there you have it, our quick look at the Battle of Lake Regilius. Thank you for listening. We hope it's been useful. Leave us a comment below, and until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
What are you laughing at?
Done anything.
I need to say bye.